All right, and so then up next we got a featherweight bout. On one end we got Julian Juicy J Erosa, and on the other end, we got Nate the Train Landwehr, someone we've kind of touched on a few times before. So before diving into these fighters, one thing that stood out to me, the quick talking point here is huge size advantage on Julian. You're 6'1" versus 5'9", 4-inch reach advantage. How much does that come into play here?
Well, like when you watch Julian fight, that's how he fights too, right? He's very long. He likes to lean out like this. Like this is how you're going to see him fight. He almost looks like he's from a video game, He's going to throw front kicks. They're going to be nice and long. He's going to lean back. Problem is his hands go down so much. That's his problem.
Dalsim style.
Yeah. Problem is his hands are always going down.
So, that's something to definitely keep an eye on. Julian, he comes in with a 24-8 record. He made his UFC debut back in 2018, but quickly rifled off 3 losses that, maybe had him reevaluate and take another fight elsewhere. But, those 3 losses, they were against Devonte Smith, who we saw kind of beasted up this past weekend. Shout out to Justin James' eye right there. That was a serious one.
Dude's a gamer.
Oh, yeah, straight gamer, man. Just wanted to keep going.
I know.
Grant Dawson and Julio Arce as well. One thing I wanted to ask you, man, I saw in his last fight, I was looking it up, and he won by a Darce choke. Well, what the hell is that?
Yeah, so it's kind of when you wrap your head around it. When you see, I'm going to try to give you a moment. Do you know when you see guys roll over, so you think it's like rear naked time, but the guy actually slides out. Like if 2 guys are facing each other like this, but their stomachs are to the ground, and you kind of see a man's hands go under a guy's bottom there like that, that's the Darce. Okay. Yeah, we could do. Basically. Yeah, we could look up a great little clip of that. But it's funny that you already brought that one up because that was a fight that we bet on, and obviously I could be, a little biased, but like I said, one of the best tough seasons of all time, Tough 22, Faber versus McGregor. Everyone remembers it. So just to kind of give you a quick little rundown, David Timmer, we just talked about him, right? So that was a Europe versus Americans. Tough. And so Julian Erosa was one of the Americans that did it, and then basically you had Tamor on as one of the Europeans on the other side. And this guy was such a good character, man. I fell in love with him. He had to have been from a very personal bias. So everybody take if I throw any type of pick advice here, you know where I stand. But yeah, he was just really fun to watch, bro. He's the kind of guy, man, in 10 years, if I have the opportunity to go meet him in person, be like, yo, bro, I just want to thank you for what you did, because if there was anyone out there that enjoyed your approach to the game, I really, really did. And, I want to thank you for that, because it made your fights really enjoyable. You're a very enjoyable person to watch. And so, sure. I am hoping for the best here. But again, Landwehr, whew, what a beast, right?
Yeah, so let's touch on Landwehr. We mentioned him a few times, but he has that 14-3 record, prospect that we've been very high on. He made his UFC debut back in 2020, which was, a tough bout against Herbert Burns. He did lose that one in the first round, but he did bounce back in May of last year with the unanimous decision win against Darren Elkins. These are no joke fights for your first 2 fights, and to hold your own the way that you did here, he has a promising future for sure.
And I think you nailed it, right? The guy's just a mean striker. So what I really, really kind of am anticipating here is 2 guys who don't really protect themselves too much, willing to bang it out. This is my underdog pick for fight of the night. I think that you're going to see, unless one of these guys get dropped in the first round, this is a fight where both of these guys are going to deserve a bonus. And if you have to add a bonus to a card, potentially, these are the kind of guys you had it for. I'm pretty much guaranteeing that if this fight doesn't end in the first round, there's a lot of blood spilled. There's just a lot of strikes. The one thing that Landwehr kind of has against him in the UFC is, funny enough, he took that knee from Herbert Burns, Gilbert Burns' brother. It was kind of, he was backing up towards the fence, and Gilbert Burns is a pretty long guy. And and he just kind of came down. Did I say Gilbert or Herbert? Herbert Burns is a pretty long guy, and so he kind of grabbed head and just kind of landed the perfect knee and landed this is what I'm talking about, right? With Erosa and Landwehr, it's guys, hands up. You guys are phenomenal strikers. I enjoy watching you fight, but it's why a guy like Darren Elkins can push Landwehr into such deep waters. Do you know what I mean? Like, you show signs of such a good stand-up fighter, like tack the legs real well, tacks the body really well. But man, when you go low, like, you know, the hands got to kind of stay there, right? And so unfortunately, like, you know, not everybody's jumping through the air like Michael Jordan and Corey Sandhagen, but like things like that's how things like that happen, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but that's my biggest worry with both these guys. It's just lucky for each of them, they both kind of do the same thing.
For sure. And, you know, in touching on Landwehr a bit, we were pretty excited to see him fight Evloev. And we know all about Evloev. You can't be not protecting yourself against a guy like that. You know, in preparation of that fight, how do you think that'll help Landwehr in this one?
See, the thing is that I don't know if it changes Landwehr that much outside of a win against Evloev versus a win against Erosa are two very different things. Mind you, pulling off a win against either of these fighters is a much different story as well. And so I did not see that fight really going his way, only because of the technical side of Evloev's striking, right? Like, I think if he wanted to take it to the ground, he would have been able to willingly. I really think he would have been able to have his way in that sense. And he's just proving to be so technical in his approach, both stand-up wise, and when he kind of wants to take it to the ground late and try to land some ground and pound, he did that too, right? In several fights. So he's just proving to be on a completely different level. So almost lucky Nate Landwehr. Like, I don't want to say that, right? But like, this is a great fight,
especially for style of fight, though. Let alone fighter, just style of fight, right?
My point, you nailed it. Like, that's what I'm trying to get at here. It's not about levels and all that. It's like, you're gonna have a very competitive fight right now, and this is gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive right into the line here. Where do you see this one ending?
You know what's funny, man, is I don't even want to waste your time, because I literally tell myself, like, I love the way Landwehr like attacks low, but you know, Julian Erosa, when he does his footwork, when he gets his kicks in, when he does his movement, like, he can land pretty well too. So I landed on a pick'em. I literally landed on a pick'em.
Man, fuck this guy.
Where's my boy? You're lying. You're effing lying. No, you're lying. That was one of my heart.
Minus 110 each way.
Yo, that's crazy, dog. Dog, that's crazy. That one messes me up, because I took a long time on that line. And I've literally told myself, like, you know what? One guy kicks really high well. One guy kicks really low well. Both guys put their hands down. Both guys are going to strike punches. Wow, Pies. I got goosebumps in my legs, and my feet are freezing again. So.
Can't say the last time I remember having goosebumps on my legs. So that shows you the high this guy must be on right now.
Let me actually kind of reverse these questions, right? So let me ask you something. So you've seen the kind of lines that Evloev gets as a fighter. It doesn't matter who he's fighting, because I think if it was Landwehr or, you know, any of the previous fighters he was fighting, it would have been a very similar approach from Vegas. So where do you see, I'm kind of giving you all the information you need on both these guys, because I don't believe that either man is changing their approach completely, outside of surprising us with some kind of takedown or surprising us with some kind of game plan that actually might shake things up a little bit. But in terms of what you should imagine based on everything these guys have done in the past, what do you think?
I mean, to be honest, I personally feel like there's a decent amount of value on Landwehr here. I mean, you know, that fight that he was prepping for with Evloev was going to be a lot tougher bout. And you know, we're talking about a nice young prospect here, where on the flip side, we know what we're getting with UCJ here. You know what I mean? We've seen it before. You know, he obviously is going to have a lot of motivation on this one coming back to the UFC, but I got to give the edge to Landwehr here, especially at a pick'em.
Yeah, and it's weird that you said that, because like, I really do think that, you know, nothing's lucky, but that shot from Herbert Burns, all I think it did was set his record back. I think that he came in with good hype. I think that, you know, like I said, Pies, like, these are two guys where literally I think that if their defensive striking was just a bit better, you know, the way they kind of approach the fight, like it would be a little bit different. But unfortunately, the damage these mans take is just... It's just too much. It's too much.
So we might have to look at an under here as well.
But that's the thing, right? Unless
will either man get finished?
Yeah, right? Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just, woof. It's just like, you know, those technical strikes that are just pop them. Like, you know, Julian Erosa has like pot shot, like kick styles. You know, he just throws up front kicks with his long little legs, you know, keeps him at bay for 2 minutes. There goes 2 minutes of the fight. Then for the last minute, just boom, 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 boom. It's like, man, they're just like, where did that 2 minutes come from? Like, everybody's like bloody as shit. The mat's done. It's crazy. Yeah.
For sure, so stay tuned for that one. We'll be checking out the weigh-ins and stuff.
Probably, one of my favorite fights on the card, guaranteed. This is going to be a beauty.
Exactly. Get your popcorn ready for this one. I'm excited about it for sure. Safe to say we are pumped for this one. UFC Vegas 19 takes place next Saturday, headlined by our boy, the Black Beast, taking on Curtis Blades. We got a bunch of beauty heavyweight fights on that card, so I'm super pumped for it. That wraps it up today. If you haven't already done so, smash that like button, hit that bell button, give us that subscribe, the follow. All our Instagram, Twitter is all there. Any questions, comments you guys have, just send them our way. Anything else, Siraj?
I mean, just be ready. Like, we keep pumping this fight up, but be ready for a 5-round wrestling match where Curtis Blades isn't able to finish this man, and Derrick Lewis isn't able to get off his back after 3 rounds, and you're just watching a guy get taken down for 5 rounds. So just be ready for that as well.
Yeah. Nice little disclaimer there, my man. Always a pleasure, dude. Take care.
You too, my guy. Take care.